What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the new LEGO Star Wars Chopper buildable figure, set 75146 with 1,039 pieces that retails for $100 US. So really cool to get a buildable Chopper. We got the buildable R2-D2 not too long ago, so now we have Chopper to go along with him. But as you see on the box here, we do have Ahsoka down in the corner, so this Chopper is supposed to be based more off the Ahsoka appearance, and we'll also get a little Chopper minifigure as well to go along with it. But it just looks pretty fun and cute, especially with all his arms and everything that goes on with him. If we spin around to the back of the box, you can just see more of the functions. Of course, we get the nice little display plate we get with these figures, as well as Chopper itself and some of the functions that he's got going on there. So, of course, there's not a whole lot going on with this set. Since it's just a buildable figure, you know, it's pretty much like a big action figure is all it is, but still pretty cool to get Chopper as a buildable figure. So let's go ahead and look at that set. So here we have our brick built Chopper and our little display plate. We'll look at the display plate first. And of course comes with a little Chopper minifigure. We've had this before, so nothing really surprising about it. Just looks cool. Nice little minifigure of the astromech droids and stuff. Has the orange head with the what's supposed to be, you know, his little radar dish. Some printing there on the front as well. And the back, so that's pretty nice. And then we get the display plate, which of course is Chopper, which is C110P. His home world is Lazian, built by Industrial Automaton. He's a C series or a C1 series astromech droid. He's 0.99 meters tall with a blue sensor light that includes an arc welder, rocket booster, computer probe, electric shock prod, fire extinguisher, grasping arm, hollow projector, buzzsaw, and spark projector. So nice that we get all that little information on our display plate, but of course kind of pointless. Don't really need this. Don't really need the Chopper minifigure, especially since we've had it before. If it was like a character we've not really had before and this first time getting it, it'd be cool, but you know, we've already had Chopper, so nothing really interesting there. But then we have our Chopper, which of course, going over that information, is a C1 series astromech droid built by Industrial Automaton during the Clone Wars. He served the Republic as a navigational astromech, but his ship was shot down over Ryloth and found by Hera Syndulla, and he stayed with her through time, joining the rebellion to become a member of the Spectres on the Ghost, with Chopper being in charge of maintaining the Ghost. So he looks cool here. Of course, a nice big buildable figure, like I said, we got with R2 in the past, so it's going to be relatively the same, just obviously he should be smaller in size, at least, you know, height-wise, because Chopper is smaller, but probably with the LEGO builds, which I don't have the R2 built anymore, so I can't really compare him, but I feel he's probably going to be about the same size, roughly, maybe even a little thicker, because it does look more round. It's probably similar to R2, just it seems to me is a little fatter, but it looks cool. So we get his orange head up top, so orange and yellow head, or top part, or whatever you want to call it, of Chopper there with his antenna dish on top. Don't like that so long, especially with the pegs. I'd like it much shorter, but that's just the way it's designed. We get his arms off to the side so that he's always using, of course, always doing weird stuff with his arms, and of course we can take those off. I will show you that function. Then we get his front plate, so it looks pretty good with all the different mix match of pieces and stuff. We do get a little arm out of the front here as well, so probably like his little grasping arm or whatever, so it can come out and grab onto things, so that's a nice little feature. And overall, just a bunch of like little greebly and stuff just to add more details to the front of him. Not sure if they're back. Yeah, a little bit on the back as well. Of course, one of our functions we get there as well. Then we get his mix match leg, which is actually nicer color, and like the Rebels and stuff, there was like a green one, I think. But we get this mostly white leg. I'm not sure if this is his original, because I feel look-wise this would fit much better with Chopper, so maybe his original leg, but looks good. Of course, it's designed to glide along, and of course has some movements in it to be able to get his third wheel out there, but looks good. We get some tubing and stuff all going on. Love the colors of the white mixed in with the gray. Get some sticker pieces on there as well, some extra tubings here in the back used with those whip pieces that they like to use, so that looks good. And then we have the mostly gray leg on the other side, some orange thrown in there, and again all sorts of little just pieces that add more colors and different designs with more of the tubings there connected in the back. So we get those, and of course both legs function. They move back and forth, so they only go about that far forward and that far back, so just a little there. And then there's like an ankle joint as well that'll move back and forth, so you get some movements, like I said, to help with getting him to sit on his third leg, which we do get the third leg that comes out here. Of course, if we don't want it, we can deattach it and he'll just stand straight up there. Or you can have this, which I do like, but unfortunately I don't know if something's built wrong or if I did something wrong, but it seems like the height is off. Like I can almost never get this third wheel to touch the ground, so like I can have it sitting at an angle like he's supposed to, and then try to lean him forward, but his legs just automatically go back. Like they don't want to allow him to sit forward there, so we can roll around, but he just kind of stays with his third wheel off the ground, unfortunately. So doesn't really sit or work out too well for me, at least personally. Like I said, don't know if I messed something up in the build or they just didn't construct it very good overall, but it does work out, you know, sits and looks like Chopper, so that's all that really matters. We do get a function with the head. As you saw, there was this little piece on the back that you can move and allows Chopper's head to sort of like shake around and stuff, so you can just sort of do this, because in the show his head's always bopping around and everything in Rebels, so you can kind of do that. So just move that up and down and it'll shake his head around. Like I said, we get the arms as well that you can actually take off, so they easily sort of disconnect there. And then if you saw on the back of the display plate, there's these orange bricks that you can pop off and then attach onto there. So you just take these and slide them onto those pegs, so they'll just go right in the center there. So if you don't want his arm sticking out, you can do that and fill it in so it fills in with that orange spots and stuff, so it doesn't make it as noticeable there. So pretty cool. And as you see, his head does twist around as well, so you can get his head sort of twisted to the side and of course do like the shaking and stuff that he does. So pretty fun overall design. Love that head shake feature that they built in. R2 definitely didn't have that, so it's nice that they added in with Chopper, since that's such like a big part of what he does throughout the shows and stuff. So that is pretty fun as well. But I think for me, I kind of like him having his arms. Again, that's always just like an iconic looking design for Chopper for me, so I'll definitely want to keep his arms on him. So just like that. And overall, Chopper looks pretty fun and cool there. So overall, a pretty decent build. I enjoyed building this. It seemed more than R2, just because R2 seemed to be much more repeatable, so it was like the same thing over and over again. He's pretty similar, but it just didn't seem as bad. So I think overall I did enjoy building him much more, and of course getting that like internal mechanic to get his head shaking stuff varied it up some as well. But overall, it was a pretty fun build, and overall really nice design. You know, when you see this, it definitely looks like Chopper. You know what that is. I'm not just too crazy about these buildable droids. I probably wouldn't have got this, but I needed to spend the money to be able to get the May 4th promo, so this was something that took $100 off that 160. So I just went ahead and decided to get Chopper, especially since I had R2, so I can have them, you know, go together and stuff. Not a set or design I'm too crazy about, but I do think they do a really good job at getting it built. It looks like what it's supposed to and everything. It just could obviously be a little better if Lego put in a little more work into it, but pretty good for what it is. So let me know what you thought of the buildable Chopper set down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know what that like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.